Hi guys, how are you today? My name is Shanda and I hope you guys are having an awesome day today. If you are not having an awesome day, I really hope that your day gets better from here on out. But I do want to start this video off, as always, by saying thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you will enjoy the video and you'll give the video a chance. And I also hope that you return to the channel. But if you are returning to the channel, I really want to say thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and it really does mean a lot to me. I also want to say that this video is a couple days late, and I do apologize. My daughter got some sort of stomach bug, and then I got it from her, and I got it like way worse than her, and I was so sick. But I guess it's going around. But it's gone and we're fine. Everybody's fine now, so let's go ahead and get on with the video. Okay guys, so today's video is about Jake Paul and the allegations that came out against him. If you don't know who Jake Paul is, he is a YouTuber, and he is a pretty big YouTuber, and he's been a YouTuber since he was about 16 years old, but he has also turned boxer, so he's a professional boxer now. And his older brother, Logan Paul, is also a YouTuber, and they're both very big on the platform, and they both actually have a lot of hate. A lot of people hate the Paul brothers, and I tried to dive a little deeper into that and see why everybody hates them, but we'll get into more of that later. But on April 9th of this year, of course, this girl right here, her name is Justine Paradise. She is a TikToker with over 500,000 followers on TikTok, and she came out with a video on YouTube on April 9th, and it is pretty much her story, her truth, and she's coming out with these allegations of SA against Jake Paul. Now, she said that he assaulted her at his home on July 20th, 2019. So she goes ahead and tells her entire story, so why don't we get into that a little bit. So she starts off the video by telling you that the video is about Jake Paul, and I want to let you guys know I will put this entire video in the pinned comment down below, as well as in the description box, but we're not going to watch the whole video. We're just going to kind of jump around a little bit, but she does start off the video by saying it's about Jake Paul, and then she goes on to tell you how she met him. So let's listen to what she has to say.
Hi. I feel really kind of awkward right now because I think about this a lot. I think about it every single day, but I've never said anything about it because a couple different reasons. One, I don't want to ruin someone's career for something that they did. I feel guilty even though I was the one who was assaulted. This happened last year. I haven't said anything. That's why I was too embarrassed. I was too feeling guilty even though it's not my fault. I guess I should start by saying how I knew him. This story is about Jake Paul. I was going to use a fake name, but if someone else, another girl, is in a situation like me and thinks that it's just someone that's nice and sweet, like, he's not. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and use his real name. It was Jake Paul. So, I will start with how I knew him, I guess, and when it happened. It happened the summer before all this COVID stuff was happening. That's another reason I was afraid to say anything about it, because so much time has gone by. The time going by doesn't change anything. It still happens, and I still think about it every single day since it has happened. So how I met him was through a mutual friend, and I don't want to throw my friends under the bus because they're my friends, they're nice to me. So I was hanging out with my friend Becca, fake name, and she was like, oh my god, I'm bored, let's hang out with some cute boys. I was like, I know cute boys, let's hang out with Michael, fake name, by the way. I texted Michael and I was like, hey, what are you doing? It's been a while, let's hang out. And he was like, yeah, I'm down, come to the studio tonight. And I was like, bet. With Becca, we drove over to the address to the studio. What do you know, when we get to the studio, it's the whole Team 10 house. As soon as you go in, to the Team 10 house, right on the side of the wall, there's this thing that like takes your picture and has you sign an NDA form. Also, that is why I thought I wasn't allowed to talk about this, and then I made a TikTok today asked if someone assaulted me but I signed an NDA, like, am I allowed to speak about it? Because I thought if you signed an NDA, you're like signing away your rights to talk about anything, basically. But yeah, after signing the NDA thing, I met Jake Paul almost immediately. I had to go to the bathroom. I was looking for a bathroom in this huge place. I walk into the kitchen and Jake Paul was there, and like a bunch of people that lived there were there, and they had like whiteboards and they were just doing like businessy stuff. I was just looking for the bathroom. I didn't know where the bathroom was. Jake was there obviously because it was his house, and he was like, "Hey, I like your hair," and I was like, "Oh, thanks." He asked if I had an accent. I don't know why I didn't think I sounded like that, and I was like, "Oh no, where's the bathroom?" And then he showed me where the bathroom was, and then I just kind of hung out with my friend Michael and Becca for the remainder of the time there. And then Jake came up to me and he asked me for my phone number at some point. And even though this was like a year and a half ago, I do still have the phone that I had at the time, so I have all the messages and everything.
Okay, so she still has the phone, she still has the messages. She puts them in her video, and I have also got them, so I will put them up later and we'll talk about all of the messages also a little later. So she does have text messages between the two, so that's good. She actually has evidence, because everybody knows nowadays when these girls come out with their truth and their story, everybody's like, where's the evidence, where's the evidence, where's the receipts? So this girl is actually bringing to the table some receipts, so that's good, right? Let's continue.
He was really awkward. I don't know if it was just me or if he's like this with everyone. I mean, I don't think he's like this with everyone. I don't know. But he was really awkward when he was talking to me. Like, to me it reminded me of like middle school, because he would text me even if I was like in the same room as him. I can put up the text here. I'm not sure exactly how many times I went to his house. They were just really popular and always had people there, so they would ask me to come over. Not just my friend Michael, but Jake too would text me and ask me to come over. Texts here. He would ask me to come over. I would, and then when I was there, he wouldn't talk to me like to my face. He would say hi to me, and then he would go do other stuff, and he would be texting me. And to me it felt like, you know, have you ever been in like middle school and you're with your crush but you're too afraid to tell them that you like them, so you text them, and it's really awkward, but it's middle school, so it makes sense to be that awkward and weird. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay, so now she gets into the night of the assault, so let's go ahead and see what she has to say about the night of the SA.
One of these days, I was in the studio. Some people were recording down there, and Jake, like, pulled me into this little corner area in the studio and started kissing me. And I was fine with that. I did think he was cute. I did want to kiss him. That is fine. That wasn't the issue that he kissed me there. It was weird because the place that he kissed me was like in front of everyone, so it kind of felt like he was showing off to his friends that he was making out with me. That was a little weird, especially since like one of my friends, Michael, was there. That was a little awkward for me, but it was fine. Flash forward a little bit. Jake grabs my hand and he starts walking with me, and I thought it was cute. He was just like talking to me, being nice and whatever, so I was walking with him, and he brings me to his room.
So a lot of people right here already started criticizing this girl, like, well, you went to his room with him, blah blah blah, but she addresses that, so let's see what she says here.
People have brought me to their room before, and I'm their friend, and they're literally just trying to show me their room, or they just want to talk to me away from the crowd of people, or sometimes they are like trying to do something sexual, but if I say no, they respect it, you know. So I didn't have an issue with following him to wherever he was bringing me in his house. I don't know. While we were in his room, it was like pretty cool. There's a big like aquarium with a bunch of fish in there and stuff. We were just talking about like, I was like, where are you from? And he's like, Ohio. And I'm like, yeah, but like what part of Ohio, whatever. We were just talking and he was just like, you care about what part? Like no one actually cares. No one actually wants to talk to me. Like the whole like, I'm famous, no one actually cares about me, they just want things from me. I don't know if that's just like a card he plays, like, oh, I'm just this famous person, but you get me, and like you actually want to know who I am. We were dancing in his room, like ballroom dancing, you know, and then we were like kissing and stuff, and then he like took it to his bed. Sex is very special and very important to me, but I haven't had sex with that many people. I haven't. Normally, not all the time, but normally everybody respects me when I don't want to do sexual things, so I thought that it was fine if I went in his room, and I thought it would be fine to kiss him because I thought he would stop if I didn't want to do anything else. Like, that's normal, that's what you do. So anyway, we were on his bed kissing for a bit, and then every time he would like try to put my hand places or like try to put his hands places that I didn't want, I would just kind of move it away and be like, no, and then like, you know, just kiss, just back to kissing. And then at one point he said, if nothing is going to happen, then what's the point? What's the point? I don't know, maybe I could be one of your friends. Maybe I can just be someone that you kiss. Never, ever have I rejected someone's touches and they said, well, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? Like, what? But that is what he said, word for word. I thought that was weird. That made me uncomfortable.
Now, she's very passionate about that line as well. You can pretty much see in her demeanor and her body language and her energy that he probably did say that, because she is pretty passionate about that line right there. Like, it upset her. So I believe that he said that. Let's continue.
And then he gets up. He doesn't go away. This is the point where if what he wanted is sex, he sees he's not gonna get it. This is the point where we would just go elsewhere. You know, go back downstairs where everyone is. Go back to the studio. Like, he could even tell me to leave if he wanted to. If his sole purpose was to have sex with me and saw that that wasn't going to happen, he could tell me to leave. Yes, it would be like a jerk move, but he could have. But that is not what he did. When he got up, he undid his pants and grabbed my face and started licking my face.
In doing research on this topic, I've seen all over everybody saying horrible things like Keemstar, that you can't be assaulted in that way, pretty much. Like, you have to be able to turn your head, or like you have to at least open your mouth or participate. That's not true at all. That is not true at all. Not too long ago, I did a video on Davi Vanity, this piece of shit right here, and he almost always assaulted his victims orally. So it is definitely possible. So I don't want to hear that shit that it's not possible. But anyway, so after she gets into detail about that, she continues. Let's go ahead.
What am I supposed to do? He was literally, I was still laying down. He was on top of me and like holding my head like into him. Like, I couldn't even tell him not to. He didn't ask for consent or anything. Like, he knew I didn't want to do anything with him because he said, if nothing's gonna happen, what's the point? And then he just shoves himself in me. That's not okay. On no level at all is that okay. It didn't last that long though, because he finished, he came, in my mouth, and honestly it was less than 30 seconds, so it didn't last that long. It was like 20 seconds, if that. He did that, I couldn't go anywhere because he was literally grabbing my head and shoving himself in me. At that point I was really confused and like, what the heck just happened? Why did that happen? I was like, what the heck? So I just like kind of rolled over on his bed. I'm like, what the heck? And then he cuddled me for like 0.2 seconds. He literally put his arm around me and then got back up and then walked over to his door, and he's like, okay, let's go back to the stew. And I'm just like stew as in studio for those that don't get it. Yeah, all right, let's go back to the stew. And I was like, okay, let me just like fix my hair and makeup first, because it was all messed up. And I went to his bathroom that's connected to his room. I was trying to, and he's like, no, let's go. And I'm like, why would you sexually assault me and then not even let me like fix my hair and makeup? Like, I don't want to leave your room looking like this. I didn't want to be looking like that at all. Like, that's embarrassing to have like my makeup all like going down and like my hair all messed up. It's obvious that sexual things happen. I don't know. So I'm like, no, I'm going to fix this. And then like I just like fixed my hair and makeup as fast as I could. He grabbed my phone, and at the time I had a phone that was pretty old. I'm not one to keep up with updating my phone, you know, when everyone gets the new phone and stuff. Jake, at this point in his room, after I'm trying to like fix my hair and makeup and stuff to get out, he picks up my phone. He was like, come on, let's leave, get your dinosaur phone and let's go. And I was just like, wait a second. Because up until this point, he had been nice to me. He had been sweet to me, even though he was a little socially awkward and sometimes just like texting me instead of talking to me when I was right there. When he was talking to me, it was nice and sweet.
Okay, so she says that he pretty much insulted her phone afterwards. He didn't let her fix her makeup, and he pretty much just took her back down to the studio. And she also said that it was too late to drive. She did say the assault was about 3 in the morning, so she said it was too late to drive home, and she stayed with her friends, Michael and Becca, fake names, but she stayed with her friends there that night, and they were comforting her and everything like that. Now, she goes on to say that she did try to communicate with him after this night, and she explains why. So let's hear what she has to say.
After that, my friend Michael found me crying and was asking me what's wrong, and I told him what was wrong and that Jake Paul my face without consent. He was telling me, that's really messed up. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'll talk to him for you. And I just stayed there with him and my friend Becca for a bit, crying, and they were just like both being there for me. And then I went home. There was no contact between me and Jake after this. And I texted him a few weeks later, and I was just being normal, and I was like, hi, do you want to hang out? He didn't give me a response or anything.
Okay, I do want to say how she talked about trying to get a hold of Jake after this incident and wanting to talk to him afterwards. Now, a lot of people are scrutinizing her for this, saying that if this was true, if he did that to her, she would never talk to him again. And she even explains why she wanted to talk to him after that. She felt like, you know, maybe he didn't do it on purpose or something like that. Now, I want to say right now, from experience and from a lot of other people that I have talked to that are survivors, that's not uncommon at all, especially if it's someone that you know, someone you were close with, or someone who you like was like cool with you or normal with you. That's actually not uncommon, and let me tell you why. Like, I feel like it's almost a part of your brain trying to protect you from realizing the amount of trauma that you just went through. Like, literally, it's hard to explain, but literally your brain is trying to protect you by almost trying to trick you into thinking that they didn't mean to, or maybe he didn't know that that was wrong. Maybe he thought I wanted it. Maybe he just didn't know that that hurt me, or he didn't know. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, the fact of the matter is they probably did know, and I'm sure they knew what they were doing to you, but it's literally like your brain trying to protect you from the trauma by making you think that maybe he didn't know. Because if if it happens all at once and then you're like, oh my god, I was assaulted, and then like that might be too much trauma for some people to handle all at once. So like their brain is trying to protect them in some way by saying, maybe this, maybe that. And then the person wants closure, so they actively seek out the person who assaulted them and try to pretty much get that person to tell them what they're thinking is true. So they want that person to tell them, yeah, I didn't know that you felt like that. I'm sorry. I didn't know. But that's what they want, because they almost need that. But they normally, a lot of times, they don't get the closure, or sometimes they do, but it's a lie, probably. But like when they don't get the closure, they finally realize, oh my god, I was assaulted. And it does take some time. Like they finally, over time, realize, like, I was actually fully assaulted, and it wasn't just a mistake. It wasn't an accident. He probably did know how I feel. And that's when it all starts setting in. So, like, this statement she's saying right here, it really, really, like, is a light bulb moment for me. It really hits home for me because I know exactly what she is talking about. And I've actually heard it a lot from a lot of survivors. So, I don't want to discredit her just yet, and I don't like how people are discrediting her for that, because it's actually not that uncommon. So let's continue.
You might be wondering, like, why I would want to hang out with someone who did that to me, and that is because I wanted to talk to him about how that made me feel. Because somewhere in my brain I was thinking, what if he didn't do this to me on purpose? What if he didn't know how this made me feel? Like, what if he just does this to everyone because he's so socially awkward and thinks that this is what they want? I just wanted to talk to him and tell him, hey, I didn't consent for this. It made me feel so awful. I've literally only done this with like 3 people in my whole life because it's so special to me, and you just took that from me. But I couldn't tell him because he never responded, and I'm hoping that my friend Michael talked to Jake. If he ever did talk to him, I don't know. I never got an apology or anything like that. I would have liked to have an apology because that was messed up.
Okay guys, so that is Justine's entire video. Now she does end the video with a couple more receipts, proof, text messages, so let's look at those. Now she does have right here, the night of July 18th, 2019, he says, let's hang out. She says, I'm getting food with a friend tonight, but I can come down after if you're down. Also, you have to speak to me and not text me from across the room, LOL. He says, LOL, of course, we will kick it. Normally, I'm working. And then after that, there's another text message, and she says, when shall I come? And he says, now, whenever, we giving, and then he corrects himself, vibing, we vibing. She says at 11:08 p.m., leaving soon. And then at 12 a.m., she says, what's the code again? She says at 12:15, I'm here. And then he does tell her the code, and she, of course, blocks it out. That's good. And then he says, hi. And she says, where are you? And he says, hi, you disappeared. Oh, wait. Where are you? And then when he says, hi, you disappeared. That's July 20th at 3 a.m. And she says, yeah, we're in blank room, me and blank, watching doing now. What you doing now is what it says down there at the bottom, 3:04 a.m. So I'm guessing that's when they hooked up, and then like got together inside the house. But when I was looking at these messages, I was a little confused because she did start off the end with this text, and it says July 18th, 2009, when he said, let's hang tonight. And it goes until 4 p.m. And then the next text she shows is, it does not give a day, a date, but it's at 10:45 p.m. So I'm guessing that is the same night, which would have been July 18th and not July 19th. The third text she shows, she says, I'm here, and then down in the middle of the text, you see it's July 20th at 3 a.m. So I'm kind of confused because she did say that the SA happened on July 19th night or early morning hours of July 20th, which right here it's July 20th and it's about 3 a.m., which she says is around the time it happened. And that's when they're talking and she tells him where she is in his house. So I'm assuming that's when they like hook up together, and that's when it starts. But the other message she sent was, or she showed, was from July 18th when he says, let's hang out tonight. And now it's July 20th. So I don't know, maybe she hung out both of those nights, or maybe she ended up not going the 18th and went the night of the 19th. I don't know, but she doesn't share in between or what happened, or I don't know. So I'm just not sure. That is the only thing I'm not aware of, that I'm kind of like confused on, I mean. And then after that, she does show that she does send him a text on July 28th, about a week after the SA, and she says, hey, blank and blank invited me over, but the guards are telling me I need a code to get in. And then she says, never mind, I'm good, and he never responds. And then August 24th, over a month after the incident, she says, hi, what you doing tonight? And you can see he never responds. So she does say that she tries to get a hold of him, and he doesn't respond. So, and she does show that. And again, with her messages, the only thing is the gap between the date there. I'm just a little confused. But let's go ahead and move on, and let's talk about Keemstar. Now, if you guys don't know who Keemstar is, he is a huge YouTuber, and he's probably the biggest commentary YouTuber on this platform, and he's really, really popular. He is a pretty big influencer. Now, he did hear about Justine's video and her story, and he responded with a video of his own. Now, he didn't put it on his channel yet, but he did put it on his Twitter, and he said that he wanted to get other people's opinions before he puts it on his channel, and ask people to critique him or tell him he's wrong or whatever. So let's just go into get into it. So here is his video.
Hey guys, I need to do a drama alert today on the Jake Paul sexual assault allegations, and quite frankly, I do not believe the alleged victim. And I don't want to just cover this real quick on drama alert without getting some pushback. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe I'm not seeing a certain angle to the story. That's why I'm making this Twitter video, so I can be challenged before I put it on drama alert in front of millions of people. But this girl is claiming that Jake Paul, was kissing her, holding her hand, led her to her room. She didn't want to do any further stuff with him. And then Jake Paul, grabbed her head and started fucking her face. And within 30 seconds, busted a nut in her mouth. And she claims that she was sexually assaulted. Now, how does that happen? What? Wouldn't she have to open her mouth and like participate in some way for that to happen? Like, can't you just turn your head, or can't you just get like, is there some way to force oral sex on someone? I mean, she's not saying that he had a weapon and was like, you better do this. You know, she is saying that he grabbed her head and started fucking her face and came in her mouth. I don't understand the physics here. Like, I don't understand how that's possible. Like, why? Like, can't you get away? Is there really no way to get away? Is there really no way to just close your mouth, like, and just not let the penis enter your mouth? Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe this story at all. Am I missing something here? Please challenge me. Please challenge me, right? Like, I don't want to go in front of millions of people, get called a victim blamer, and not have a piece of information that I should have. But like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. It sounds like BS. Please challenge me.
Okay, so that was his video. Now, of course, his video upset tons and tons of people, and Justine responded to Keemstar with her own video, and this is what she says.
I don't understand how that's possible. Like, why? Like, can't you?
Are you kidding me? This man is not just simply saying that he doesn't believe me. He is saying that it is not possible to be assaulted orally. Are you kidding me? Not having consent is not having consent. This logic is like saying, well, you can't be raped because you have to open your legs for that. I have been messaged by so many girls saying that they went through the same exact thing of a YouTuber forcing themselves on them, but this person is saying it's not possible. Not possible. Okay. Is Jake forcing you to say this, or do you genuinely not understand how consent works?
I don't understand how that...
Ooh! So you can tell things are getting pretty heated between Justine and Keemstar. Now, he did see that, and he responded with this tweet. Now, he says, Jake Paul accuser has put out a new video claiming I said, quote, it's impossible to be assaulted orally. This is false. I never made such a statement. I have notified my legal team. Now, I'm sorry, just real quick, what is up with everybody threatening their legal team nowadays? I mean, over just the over just the smallest little things, like just a miscommunication or something. Like, everybody's always threatening their legal team. Like, James Charles just said that he has notified his legal team of all these fake allegations that came out, and everybody's notifying their legal team left and right. I mean, what is going on? Okay, that's not the point. The point is, he said he never made such a statement, and that is false. And then there are some replies here. Now, let me read a couple of the replies to Keemstar. Now, this person here says, you should have fought harder. The f*** is wrong with you? That's kind of what he's saying. That's exactly what he's saying. And when you say something like that, it really shames victims everywhere. Like, it does. It hurts victims everywhere. Like, that is not okay. And any girl who has been assaulted in that way is now feeling like it's her fault. She had to participate for this to happen to her, right? No, that is not true. That is not the case. Please do not think that. You did nothing wrong if anything like that has ever happened to you. Don't think that. But that's what I was afraid that people would be like, well, yeah, you know. This next person says, you forgot the part where she could have also bit down. Seems kind of sketchy. Now, this is what I was afraid of. Like, people like this hear what Keemstar says and then says, well, that seems right to me. She could have bit down. Seems sketchy. She must be lying if she didn't bite. What? Come on, you guys. Ridiculous. You know what I mean? This person says, bro, if she was so scared and she could have bit his, like, let's be honest, she could have legit just started munching. What? Really, guys? Really? I would love to see these people in this exact same situation, boy or male or female, be in this same situation and see if they just start munching. Like, come on, you guys. It's ridiculous. And then if you're the one that says, yeah, I would have, well, you know, maybe you would have, but there's the chance that you could possibly get severely injured afterwards, or possibly worse, you know. There is the fight or flight response that comes from our root chakra. I mean, the fight or flight response is there, or you freeze. That's the third response that a lot of people don't talk about. You freeze. So that is what happened with Keemstar and her, and we're gonna go ahead and move on from here. Okay guys, so when I was getting ready for this video and I was doing all the research and everything, and I was talking about it on my Instagram, one of my friends on Instagram told me about a thread on Twitter and to go check it out. So I went to go check it out, and this is what this thread says. Now, it's a pretty long thread. I don't want to take too much time going through it, but okay. So this says right here, the allegations of Jake Paul assault from Justine Paradise has risen on the internet, but something about the story didn't add up. After a lot of searching and watching back old Insta stories, something isn't right. I'm going to show you why I think she is lying. Now, anybody who knows me and watches my videos knows that I completely stand with survivors of all kinds, and I support them in all ways, but I also do know that there is such a thing as people who are not survivors, who say that they are, like Amber Heard, for example. And because of the Me Too movement and cancel culture, so many people are just so quick to judge, and I think that sometimes we should stop and look before we make our own minds up, and we shouldn't be bullied into thinking a certain way. So let's go ahead and go through this thread. The first part of the thread says, I'm going to start off with where Jake was on certain dates, starting with the 19th July 2019. On the 19th, Jake spent the day with Tana and filmed a Team 10 video. They then both went to Craig's restaurant in West Hollywood that night. And here are paparazzi pictures of Jake and Tana. The next one is a video, and it says Jake and Team 10 making a vid that night before him and Tana went out. This alone shows they were busy. Keep in mind, this was filmed looking around 6 to 7 p.m. and Jake and Tana probably out till early hours. No one else was seen in the house during the stories and the actual video. So here's the video.
They have questions right here.
Easy.
Okay, next it says going to the club to meet up with Tana's friends the time the quote assault happened. Now this says here July 19th, 2019. After dinner, Jake drove Tana to the club where Tana met up with her friends. So it looks like they filmed a video that day, and then he went out to dinner with Tana, and then he drove her to the club. And there is supposedly paparazzi pictures and video of this as well. So let's move on. He then said, here's Justine's side. Now it's obvious Michael is Brandon, Jake's friend, who is always in the studio making music. Brandon didn't go out with Jake and Tana and was usually left alone since the rest of the group either hung out or went home, since he always stayed.
I texted Michael and I was like, hey, what are you doing been a while, let's hang out. And he was like, yeah, I'm down, come to the studio tonight. And I was like,
Now, I want to interject right here, just because I've watched Justine's video so many times for this video. This part of her video is, she's talking about the very first time that her and Jake ever met. She's not talking about the night the assault happened. So this right here, this part of his thread is wrong. So it's saying that. I just wanted to say that before we moved on. The next part of the thread, he says, this is her Snapchat that she posted that the next morning, and it says, I took this Snapchat while I was still there. You can see by the location that I was in Calabasas, and my face was puffy from crying. Now, and you see the Calabasas, California right here on her Snapchat, and if you look, it says it's around 8:30 a.m. He says right here, as you can probably see, Jake wasn't in the house that night. So how could the assault have happened? Another thing is, she said the assault happened around 3 a.m. So why does her snap say 8:30 a.m.? Is she had just taken in after the assault? Just a little thought. Okay, well, I'm here to answer that for him. She did say in her video, I'm kind of guessing that this guy did not watch her video. But anyway, she did say in her video that it was super late, it was too late to drive home, and she went back with her friends, Michael and Becca, I don't know their real names, but she went back with them and is still in the house, and they consulted her and made her feel better all night, and they ended up staying the night, but it wasn't anywhere near Jake. So, because the reason why it says 8:30 in the morning is because she stayed the night there after the assault, and she did say that in her video, so I just wanted to say that. But anyway, moving on. Okay, the next part of the thread says, the day before all of this, Tana was in the hospital with Jake after he snapped his ankle. So there are pictures of right here of Jake and Tana in the hospital, and this says it's the day before. Now, I couldn't find these pictures on either one of their Instagrams or Twitter accounts, but I don't know when these pictures were taken. I don't know if they really were taken on July 18th, 2019, but I don't know. But he says here in his next piece that he said this because it's something noticeable on his ankle, and I think she would have mentioned it. Now, she could recite what others were doing, but not that he had a big thing around his foot. I think it's kind of weird, but this is no proof that the story isn't real, just something to keep in mind. Okay, I'm keeping it in mind, but the thing I'm thinking of is, was that picture really taken the day before, and did he really break his ankle the day before and was in a cast the day before July 19th, 2019? I can't find that anywhere, but I did reach out to the person who created this thread and ask them how they found this information and if they could authenticate it and authenticate the dates, the date stamps of these pictures, but I haven't heard anything back yet. The next part of the thread here says July 21st, 2019, Jake goes over to Tana's to give out the invitations. That takes all day. So what we can see is Jake was with Tana from the start of the 19th through the 21st, during the time Justine had apparently been and tried to talk with Jake.
Oh wow, and they say we're engaged for clout.
The next part of his thread says, remembering Tana was with Jake 24/7. Now, how does he know that Tana was with Jake 24/7? I mean, she was with him, yes, but was she with him 24/7? I don't know. But let's say Justine's story is true. She said Jake kissed her in front of everyone. Tana gets mad when Jake likes a girl's post. So what makes you think she wasn't going to say anything? Surely Justine would have mentioned Tana as well. That is a good point. If Tana was really there, we don't know. So let's continue. He says there was no point coming to YouTube until you have gone to the police, which is something that makes me think this allegation could be fake. Now, a lot of people say this about this situation all the time, that they think that these people should go to the police and not to YouTube, which, like, you can agree or disagree with that. I mean, it's really up to the person, but I feel like a lot of survivors find power in telling their story, and they also feel, a lot of them feel like it's their duty to tell their story to hopefully protect future women or future potential victims or survivors. But that is why a lot of women say that they come out publicly with their story. But a reason why, I don't know if, you know, some people do go to the police first, some people don't go at all. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not true, but I understand what he is saying here. A lot of people just think that way. He also says she shouldn't be called a victim until it's been proven. All she had was some messages that proved nothing yet. Jake is seen in the public eye at the time of the assault. I had a look at her screenshots and sent them in, and this is what came back. So this is a picture that he posts on his thread, and this is one of her messages, and then here is the other one right here with all this pink, and here are the two pictures side by side. Now this says here, this is something called clone detection. The pink lines show where a picture may have been edited, and the first one shows Jake's side has possible been edited, if it even is Jake at this point. The second one went crazy, meaning a lot of editing, but it didn't know where. You can take this however you want. I tried my best to do some research about this clone detection. I couldn't find much. I mean, I found some things where they're talking about clone files and all kinds of stuff, but I couldn't find much about it being authenticated, as it actually does work, and it can tell you if a photo's been edited or not. So I'm not quite sure about this clone detection. I'm gonna have to do more research on that, but he is trying to say here that her screenshots have been edited. Moving on from there, the guy says that Jake, he said he filmed, it looked like 6 or 7, and he went out to dinner after that. Well, that is fine, because if you look at her messages, she did not come over until after midnight, which would be early morning hours of July 20th. But he did also say that he then drove Tana to the club. But he drove her to the club. Did he stay at the club? He very well could have dropped her off at the club and then went home, and that's when this happened. I mean, we don't know. You know, we don't know. My thing is, I would like to hear from Tana. I would like to hear from Justine's 2 friends, and I would like to hear from the other people in the house. And we won't really know until we hear from them. Okay guys, so after all of this, after her accusations and everything online, Jake did respond, and let's hear what he had to say about this. Sexual assault accusations aren't something that I or anyone should ever take lightly. But to be crystal clear, this claim made against me is 100% false. Not only have I never had any sexual relationship with this individual, but this claim is solely a manufactured accusation and a blatant attempt for attention during a highly visible fight week. Make no mistake, I plan on pursuing this defamation of character case to the fullest extent of the law. There are irreparable damages from these types of accusations, and more importantly, false allegations of this nature diminish those who have truly been victims of misconduct. Again, this individual is directly using the attention from her social media posts and videos to promote her adult content website and Amazon shopping list, designed for people to buy her gifts. These allegations come conveniently for her almost 2 years after the alleged incident and the week of my fight, of course. At the time of her story, I was in a relationship, and as someone who was a mama's boy growing up, I respect women and mothers more than anything. I most certainly have never laid a finger on a girl without her consent. I will fight this to the end to prove my innocence. This isn't the first preposterous allegation made against me in my career, and it most likely won't be the last. As someone who has lived in the spotlight since the age of 16, dealing with liars, fake news, and fake accusations, unfortunately is a part of this job. I won't back down from it, and years from now, my character as individual will show and shine through these dark moments. Okay guys, so that was Jake Paul's response to Justine's allegations. Now, he does seem very upset, and I mean, he has a right to be upset, of course, especially if the accusations are not true. He does claim that they're not true at all, and a lot of people were upset with his response because they thought that he could have responded to her allegations without diminishing her character and calling her like a sex worker and talking about her Amazon shopping list or whatever, which Repzilla did a video on this, and he said he went through her Twitter feed and it showed that she has not promoted her Amazon shopping list since February on Valentine's Day, and that is only because somebody asked her if she had a shopping list for Valentine's Day. But yes, she has an OnlyFans. No, I don't think that has any bearing on whether or not these accusations are true or not. Just because you have an OnlyFans doesn't mean you can't be assaulted or SA'd, excuse me. I do support survivors, and I stand with them and I support them, and whether or not whatever comes of it, it does take a lot of courage to come out with your truth and your story, and I support that. But at the same time, like, the Me Too movement and the cancel culture has just become such a huge thing, and there are some people out there who use it in a negative way, and like example, Amber Heard, like I said, everybody just jumped on the Me Too movement and was like, cancel Johnny Depp, and now everybody's apologizing to him. Well, how about instead of apologizing, why don't we just stay neutral and support the survivor, but still make sure we have all of the evidence before we make up our own minds. I just don't want anybody to be bullied into thinking that they are a bad person if they don't automatically, hands down, believe every female that comes out. I'm not saying this girl is lying at all. You heard what I thought, especially about her wanting to talk to him afterwards and stuff like that. I don't think she's lying, but sometimes, you know, you never know. And it's just good to get all of the evidence and talk to everybody before you make your own decision, and it's just important for me to everybody to be able to make their own decision and not be bullied into thinking a certain way because of these movements. And I don't want to be labeled as somebody who's insensitive or a bad person because I don't believe her. I don't not believe her. I just want everybody to be able to think for themselves. So that is all. Let me do a few more touches and I will be right back with the conclusion and my final thoughts on this video. Alright guys, I zoomed you in. This is the final look. I really don't know how I feel about it. It's not too bad. I saw this look on Instagram. It was like P. Louise did it, and it was yellow and green and then like a cut crease and the purple, but like I don't know, she had like a space between my eyes just too small, or it takes me too much to blend. I don't know. But I did my best and it doesn't look too bad. But let me know what you guys think about all of this going on in the comments down below. I love to hear all of your thoughts about everything that we talk about on this channel. What do you guys think about all this? Do you think Jake Paul is innocent? Do you think he's guilty? Do you think Justine is doing this all just for clout like everybody's saying? Or do you think she's being truthful? I know a lot of people were saying that she had 8,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel before this, and she put this video out and she has doubled it. She has like 16,000 subscribers now. And yes, people, like, I know a lot of times when survivors come out with their stories, their follower amount doubles, but that doesn't mean that they did it just for that. That could mean that a lot of people now know who she is and they went and looked and they liked her stuff or her content or whatever. I mean, it could mean either. It doesn't have to always mean that that's what they did it for, but that's what people are saying, of course. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And if you guys are not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. You know you want to. I would love to have you guys in the family. We got another video coming up real soon. Well, just me. I have another video coming out really soon of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard update. There's a lot going on. I'm going to have a bigger video of updates of everything that's happened since the UK trial, and of course recently there's a big update with the body cam footage, and it's just going to be awesome. I can't wait to film that. But I also got my Britney Spears, the rest of that series coming out for you guys as well. So let me know what you guys think below about everything, your opinions, thoughts, whatever. And like I said, I'll put her video and everything else in the description box down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. And remember guys, in a world where you can be anything, please be kind. Bye guys.